Hi, Jenny, and welcome back to Entrepreneurcast. It's so great to have you back on the show.
Hello, it's good to be back again. I've missed having our regular chats that we have even in between these shows. So yeah, thank you for having me back. I'm so excited. I've got so much to share.
So, Jenny, right now, as we talked earlier, there is this trend around the videos and video visibility, and there are so many people who hate being visible on videos. They just have this, I don't know, fear of camera. It's not even people, it's not human beings, it's camera. And people still get freaked out. What's up with that?
It's so strange because I've been doing video for a long time, albeit like when I started doing video, I did it quite badly. In fact, when I started my business in 2010, I started kind of sitting in front of my laptop and just making videos to go straight onto YouTube. No lighting, no makeup, all that kind of stuff. And so part of me just thought, yeah, I've been doing video for like 7 years and I'm sure other people have been tinkering with video. But what I've realised recently is I've been doing a lot more speaking than I have done probably in the last year. And whether it's a mastermind group, whether it's a group of, classic entrepreneurs, whether it's a local business group, chamber of commerce, or whether it's kind of the classic speaking from the stage to a group or room full of people, one of the things that is like, it's like the magic pill of connecting with your audience. I'll say to them, look, I'm going to keep this talk really fluid. I want you to get a ton of value. Now, if I can go deep on one of these three things, which would it be? And I start off with the speaking. Obviously, I'm here, I'm in front of you. Some of you want to speak about your business, by show of hands. A few people put their hand up. And then I'll say things like, well, what about for those of you that want to get out there more online, maybe webinars and things? They'll put their hand up. What about those of you that want to get out there more online through video? And that all of a sudden you feel this tension in the room and you see like these hands half kind of putting them up in the air. Then what I realized was I kind of flipped the question and said, who, if they had the courage, had the equipment, had whatever they needed to do video, would do it? And like everyone's hand goes up in the air, like completely. And then there's another element of this video visibility piece, which I think I'm going to talk about in a separate tip because it deserves the time. So I'll keep you in suspense. You'll have to listen to the next one after this. But one of the things that frighten people about video, it's really strange. I've had people that have been public speakers, I've had people that have done TED Talks, people that are really confident, and I'll say to them, so do you do this on video? And they'll be like, no. That's what they actually say. No. And then they'll give you all of these reasons why they can't do video. And it doesn't make sense. They make no sense. They'll say, well, I can't do video because, I need to get this equipment. Or I need to get a mic. And I've heard this and I've heard that. And it just sounds like excuses. So I wanted to address that in this episode, I think, if that's okay. Because I really feel that one of the things, especially for us as entrepreneurs, especially if you're like a one-man band business, there's nothing to stop you as a one-man band business, like making your mark, making your millions, making a difference to people's lives. Whatever you aspire to do, wherever you aspire to get to, video has got to be an integral part of that. And for me, I feel like asking, if you're listening to this right now, I want to ask you this question. Think about the difference that you make in people's lives by the product or service that you sell, the thing that you put out there in the world. And just think that somebody who really, really needs what you do hasn't had access to you because you're saying, oh, no, I can't do video. I mean, think about it. Think about the messages that you want to share. Think about the kind of rampages that you want to talk about. Think about the real difference you can make to people's lives. And video is such an integral part of it. And I'm going to be really, really honest with you. I am still quite surprised at how many people don't have an element of video visibility within their business, yet they have these huge aspirations to make such a difference in the world. They'll talk about wanting to be on TV, wanting to get more PR, wanting to be in the glossy magazines or the big newspapers or on CNN, yet they won't do video. So if that's you, this is for you.
And if that's you, you need to get some practice, because if someone comes to interview you with mic and camera, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
Say,
exactly.
no, 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 no.
And I'll be honest with you, even though I'm now comfortable on video, I actually had the experience quite a few years ago where I went to an event, and the woman running the event had a mock TV crew there. So she had a guy with a camera, the interviewer who actually was a reporter for Sky News, the big microphones that like got the big fuzzy grey ends to them. And I thought, well, I'm a public speaker, I've been doing video at the time, maybe don't know the best way to take it in a great direction, and maybe we should talk about video visibility and actual strategy, so that you don't feel like you're just putting videos out and not knowing what's going to happen with them. So I'm just going to make a note of that, because I think that'd be a really great thing to do. So I remember volunteering to go up to the front, and I thought, I don't mind standing in front of these people, I don't mind public speaking, don't mind video, don't mind being caught on camera. And I'm being very honest here and truthful, when I got to the front of the room, I felt good. The minute they did the mock interview, something really strange happened to me. I completely clammed up. I actually felt frightened. And so they did this interview for like sort of 4 minutes, something like that, although for me it felt like 4 hours. Mm-hmm. And when they stopped afterwards, they were saying, oh, can we give you some feedback? And I was like, of course, that's why I'm here. She said, the minute we stopped that, you started smiling. She said, all the way through that, you looked like a rabbit caught in headlights. You didn't smile once. And you just seemed really uncomfortable. Like you didn't seem like the same person that we'd seen a few seconds before. So she said, tell us honestly, how did that feel? And I remember saying, there's something about the soft, grey, fuzzy microphone. It actually felt, and, I've never had this experience in my life. It felt like someone was holding a gun to my head. It caused that kind of reaction in me. It was just really frightening, and I couldn't fathom it. So quite often when people aren't used to doing video for themselves in their brand and their business, but they're saying, I want to be on TV, I want to go on to Oprah. Well, Oprah's going to point a camera at you, or 2 or 3 or 4, so you better get used to it. And won't you want to do video to be in the green room saying, hey, I'm about to go and be interviewed by Oprah, So I really wanted to address this, because I have speakers that won't do video. I have people that are really confident that won't do video. So the thing that I do want to say is, if you're saying in your head, no, 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 it's not because you're not confident. It's not because you don't know what you're doing. It's just that you haven't maybe learned how to be on camera yet. And it is as simple as that. So here's why an entrepreneur should do some form of video. Number one, it's a good way to speak to, one to many. So rather than you having to jump in your car and go to a speaking gig and kind of go and see a room full of people or a few hundred people, you now get to speak on a one-to-one basis with thousands and maybe millions of people, but not all at the same time, in their own time when they switch on to watch what you're doing. It's an excellent way to really raise your visibility, because people get a sense of who you are. Some of you will be listening to this podcast and saying, what she's saying makes sense, or I like what she's saying. Or some of you might be saying, you know what, this is rubbish. I don't like her diction. Whichever way you're swinging, it doesn't matter. But it gives your audience a really great way to get to know you quickly, whether they like you, whether they know you, whether they trust you, or not. And this is important, because as an entrepreneur, when you're getting video visible, you want to make sure that you're almost qualifying the people that are watching you, whether they buy from you now or 3 years' time. And it's just one of the biggest steps that people miss out. And then I would say, like, the third reason would be, when people start to get a sense of who you are and what you're about, they want to come to you. They want to find out more about you. And it's one of the quickest ways I know to stick your stake in the ground and say, I'm here and I'm known as this person. Some of you might balk and say, oh, I don't want to be known as the expert. And that's fine, whether you do or you don't. But you want to be credible in your field. You really want people to be saying, gosh, if it's anything to do with this subject, go and see that person. And you want that person to be you. So it's one of the quickest ways I know. And I know this for a fact, because about 4 years ago, I ran an experiment, and I took a group of 6 people, who were all women actually, but 6 women, through a visibility kind of on steroids program. It was 5 weeks, and we covered all sorts of different things. And even halfway through that program, one woman told me that her phone hadn't stopped ringing, and in the 3 years that she'd been in business, her phone had never rung that much, you know. Someone else got asked to do an interview, got invited to Downing Street on her subject, and was on Channel 4 News. Now, I don't claim to be a PR expert in any way, shape or form, and I'm not going to claim that I helped that person get on TV. But what I do know for sure is that when you're prepared just to put yourself out there and talk to people about what you do, the credibility comes back to you, the impact and, you know, the impression that you give people comes back to you. And people want more of you, what you do, and what you do in your business. So I really believe that you can't afford not to do video in this day and age. For those of you that are on the fence, if a picture speaks 1,000 words, just think about what video will do for your business, for your product, for your service, and for your brand. So video visibility is the way forward. What do you have to say about that?
Well, definitely, we've talked about why it's so great, but do you have a couple of tips for people who obviously still terrified, and they're like, and they have no idea where to start, and they don't want to start? Do you
Oh
have
my gosh.
tips on how to start getting out there on video, and, you know, maybe was the best way to do it in a way that they don't get as scared as they usually would?
Absolutely. So to be honest with you, I could give you thousands of tips. I'm going to pick the ones that I think will make the biggest difference, and I'm going to put myself in the place of when I very first started doing video and thought, I can't do this. So the first thing is, go straight into the people that you serve, the audience or the corporations or the sector that you serve. Start your video by talking about how you help them. So for those of you that might show up on camera and think, oh, you know, is my hair straight? Have I got a spot on my chin? All of that. You already go into video thinking about yourself. And it's a bit like this kind of the speaking tip that I gave a couple of episodes back, where I talked about shining the torch to your audience. It's exactly the same thing. In order for you to be really petrified or scared of doing video, it means that you are thinking about how you will feel doing the video. So if you flip that to how you're, you know, the message that you're going to give your audience, why it matters, why you're doing the thing that you do, it really eradicates quite a lot of fear that you might have. So that's the first tip. The second tip that I'm going to say, which probably like contradicts everything and what everybody else says. If you want to get started doing video, get started with exactly what you've got right here, right now. If you don't have a special camera, that's fine. Most smartphones have a good enough quality camera for you to do video. So if you haven't got that, that's absolutely fine. If you don't have a special studio or haven't thought about renting a studio, look around your house. Look around your house for 3 areas, 3 nice backgrounds that you can use. And when I say nice backgrounds, it could be a plain white wall. It could be a brick wall outside in your garden. It could be in front of the trees, your favourite cherry tree in your garden. It could be on the decking. The only thing not to have behind you is bright sunlight. So if you like a particular spot in your house, don't have a window behind you, because that really distorts everything. You'll see it the minute you hold your camera up. So that's the second thing I would say. And then the next thing that I would say is, if you are feeling frightened, check in with yourself as the sort of person you are. If you're the sort of person that will just like need to be pushed and jump, get somebody, preferably if you've got a coach or someone like that, someone like Svietlana, you know, speak to somebody who you are paying to, by the way, not just a friend, because they'll bottle out when you get really scared. Speak to somebody that's going to hold you accountable and help you to do this. So the caveat to that is, if you are really, really frightened and it's visibility that you're frightened of and video that you're frightened of, then speak to someone who knows their stuff very specifically. Don't just say, oh, well, I'm working with a cash flow coach, or I'm working with a confidence coach, so I'll work with them. Get really, really specific, because other things can come up for you and you want to be held through that. But you know what? it needs to be done. Just do it. So maybe you want to practice it. Now, here's something that you don't do if you're really nervous on video. Don't create a video and watch it back. It will put you off. You know, I think about this, and, you know, many of you listening to this on podcasts, but if you saw a video of this, I currently have a spot under my eye. I have no makeup on. It's going to make this sound horrendous, isn't it? But, you know, I have no makeup on because I'm so comfortable now of being in front of the camera. I've done speaking gigs without makeup. I kind of don't care about that. What I do care about is making a difference to someone's life in the audience, or having somebody say, you know what, I can do this. If you don't believe me, you can Google my name and check out any one of my Facebook Lives, my YouTube channel, and you will see that I really walk my talk. Sometimes I'll have makeup on, but often than not, I just want to show up and share a message. You know, you'll see videos of me standing at train station, walking through supermarkets, walking down the street, you know, all sorts of things, because I need to make myself less important than my message. So, you know, if you are scared of doing any sort of video, don't watch it back, because you'll just talk yourself out of, oh, I sound funny. I've got a spot on my chin, oh, my hair was sticking up, I need to go again. And actually, when you're speaking to the people that really need to hear what you're talking about, they don't give a hoot about any of that. So don't watch it back. That's my other tip.
Definitely. That's actually really funny. I remember one of my first talks that I did, I watched back later and I just I found so many faults in it. And I thought, oh, it went terrible. It was too many R's and M's and whatever. And then a couple of years later, I rewatched it and I thought, that was pretty damn good.
Exactly. But this is the thing, it's like,
too much.
if you're feeling scared about being on camera, the most like useless thing that you can do is to go and watch yourself back again, because you're in a frame of mind, you're in a state of being that you're going to like set yourself up for a fall. You're in a state of mind that's going to say, this is going to be rubbish, I'm going to sound boring, and all you will see and hear, anything that you perceive to not be great. You know, make it when you've just won the lottery, or when you've just signed up a new client and you're excited. By all means, watch it then when your state is really high. But actually, I very rarely watch back my own stuff. You know, I just put it out there and I go on to the next thing.
Well, this is incredible. Let's, I think we should set up some sort of challenge for everyone to go and record the first video and get it out there in the world. So you guys go and rock those videos. Jenny, it's been fantastic having you back on the show. Great tips. Thank you so much. I really look forward to our next week's episode.
Excellent. Thanks for having me. Bye for now.